Good morning or good afternoon, evening, wherever you might be calling in from. Thanks so much for joining today. Today is going to be a 1 hour adaptive chair yoga class. So we'll use the chair as much as possible, but we'll also be taking advantage of our other props, including the bolster, 2 blocks, a strap, and of course, as always, grab your water bottle. You'll need it. And you'll see here on the back of my chair, I have my blanket. So let's just go ahead and get cozy now in your chair with your feet firmly planted on the ground, your knees bent in a 90-degree angle. Maybe you bring your back to the very back of the chair, or maybe you bring yourself to the edge. Wherever you might be, just get comfortable. If on the edge of your seat, just bring your pelvis to tilt downward. And then close your eyes if that feels comfortable. If it doesn't feel comfortable, then please keep your eyes at a steady place and gaze, making sure that there is no distraction. And just breathe and be right here, right now. Inhaling through the nose, and then cupping your lips to make an O on the exhale. This breathing technique can oftentimes help us to melt away that stress. Whatever is not serving us. Good. And then just starting to scan your body from the bottoms of your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. And breathing as you allow that breath to work. Noticing what's happening for you as you scan the body. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing any discomforts, any tension. And on your exhales, just channeling that breath into those spaces with your mind's eye. If some of those spaces are towards the feet, perhaps you bring a deeper exhale, closing the mouth and sending that breath all the way down. Inhaling and exhaling. And just noticing, once you've scanned the body, what might be happening in your breath. Perhaps you're coming back to the exhale as though you're breathing out through a straw with your lips pierced or pursed. Just noticing how present you might become with this different breathing technique. Takes a little more effort, draws us in a little more to the present moment, and starts to allow the heaviness of whatever might be going on for you today to melt away. I'm going ahead now and placing one hand over your heart, perhaps placing the other hand over your navel. And set an intention for your practice today. A word or a phrase that will help you get through this practice. Maybe it's let go of the heaviness, or maybe it's something else. Whatever it may be, just go ahead and say it to yourself 3 times. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. Good, and one more time. Beautiful. And then sealing that intention by bringing some slow and steady movement to your hands, bringing some friction, bringing some warmth to the hands, and then just placing it wherever in your body you might need it. Maybe it's over your solar plexus, over the navel, controlling your creativity, or maybe it's somewhere else that you find might be keeping you in that heaviness. Oftentimes in the gut, we find ourselves weighed down. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, and to seal that intention, we're just going to sigh it out, exhale. Good. And then slowly allowing your eyes to flutter open if they've been closed. And now we're just going to take some cat and cows. So from your seated position, if you're not at the edge of your seat, just go ahead and make your way to the edge. And on your inhale, we're just going to bring your hands closer to the knees, but not on top of the knees. And we're going to float the chest forward, reaching the chin high on the inhale for cow. And then on the exhale, we're going to just do the opposite, round the spine. Your hands can go above the knees here, but they're not going to do anything. They're just going to rest. So don't put any tension on your knees. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale, slowly making your way back down to your cat. We're going to do 3 more like that. Inhale, scoop it up, reaching that chest high. Chin, nose goes high. Good, and exhale, roll it down. Good, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good, last one. Inhale, scoop it up. Exhale, round and down. Good, on the next inhale, just bring those hands back to neutral. Good, on your inhale, we're gonna take a seated twist. So we can do it a few different ways depending on your needs. If you have some high blood pressure, maybe some heart challenges, I want you to not bring your hands over your head. That can cause some challenges for you. So for those of you who are doing that, you can just reach back and then bring your left hand across your right and then gently twist it out. Just play around with how that feels. For those of you who don't have that challenge, you can always reach your hands up and over. Just make sure that you are not listening to ego, you are listening to what you need in your body right here, right now. We're using all these props so that we can be and feel supported with less of that feeling of heaviness. And on your next inhale, reach your hands up and then twist to the other side, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale to gently deepen the twist. Notice how your body feels here.
If this feels too intense, back off and honor your needs. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. Not trying to change anything about where you are right here and now. Just breathing and being. And on your next inhale, bring your hands where they best support you. If your arms are overhead, soften your shoulders down and gently draw your pinkies toward the midline. And on the exhale, forward fold in, bringing your navel and chest toward your thighs. And just breathe here. You can always come up on your elbows if you need to. And in these forward folds, just return to your intention. And remember, you can always use your props, a bolster, blanket, or block, and fold over those for more support. Round the spine gently and simply notice what's happening in your body in this shape. On your next inhale, return the hands up through the center line. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling through the nose. Sorry, got too fast there. Exhale out. On your next inhale, return the hands up through center. Good, and then exhale, bring your fingers behind your bottom, lifting your chest and nose towards the sky for a nice little back bend here. And just breathe and be. If lifting the head doesn't serve your neck, of course, keep the neck in a neutral position. Take about 4 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Just 2 more breaths here and just noticing what's going on for you and your body in this pose. Good. And then slowly just starting to make your way out of the pose and bring your hands to just right above your knees and breathe. And now you can bring your bolster, blanket, or block onto your lap. We're going to come into a figure 4, starting with your right leg. So just bring your right leg up and across that left leg, that left thigh. And then using the bolster, laying it in our lap. We'll gently reach our shoulders up and back on the inhale and slowly, mindfully stretch your outer hip and thigh as you gently forward fold. You should feel it, especially in that right hip. If you need to grab extra props to make this more accessible for yourself, feel free to grab a blanket or some bolsters. And just breathe right here and now. Inhaling and exhaling. Returning to that place of intention. Repeating it in your mind's eye. Coming back to the breath if the intention doesn't serve you. And then slowly begin to rise. We're going to switch sides now. Bringing your left foot across into figure 4. Keeping your props and just putting it on now your lap. Take a gentle back bend first, open the chest, maybe bring the nose high, and then gently forward fold, surrendering to gravity and just allowing those props to support you. And just breathe into the hips here, inhaling and exhaling. Not trying to change anything. Trying not to place any judgment about where you are, but just breathing and noticing. Noticing sensation. Noticing thoughts, emotions, and just coming back to your breath. Your breath is your anchor holding you into this present moment. And then slowly come back up. Take a breath and even add a little smile here, even if you don't feel it. Sometimes the act of faking it to make it helps bring that energy forward. And then place your props to the side as we transition into another back bend here. Find the variation that works best for your body. You can keep your knees bent or you can extend them forward, bring in your fingertips towards your bottom, and coming into a variation of reverse tabletop or reverse plank, using your chair as your anchor, as your support system. Just breathing and being here. Inhaling and exhaling. Playing with the foot positioning. Maybe you point the toes and see how that feels. Wherever you are, breathe for a few more breaths here. Inhaling and then exhaling your hips back down. And breathe and be. We're going to work on some ankle mobility now. So just bringing your spine back upright. You can stay toward the front of your chair or rest against the back. We're going to work on that right ankle pointing and flexing, pointing and flexing. Of course, I'm showing here first my left foot, so just figure out which one is best for you to start with. It doesn't matter. As long as we give equal love to both sides, we're good. Try not to rush here. Just feeling the sensations in the ankles and in the shins. Switching sides now, doing the same thing on the opposite side. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe you remain with your pelvis at the edge of your chair, or maybe you bring it back to the back of the chair. Just find what works best and right for you in your body here. What works for me and my body maybe doesn't work for you and yours. And on your next inhale, bring your arms out into a T. Stay here if that feels best or if it's accessible. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale into goalpost arms. We're going to do 4 more rounds here. Inhale up. Exhale to goalpost. Good. 3, 2, and then we'll work into our last one here. Inhale and exhale down. Good. And breathe and notice how that feels on the upper part of your body after leaning on those for your back bend. We're going to transition here to a chair supported downward facing dog. So let's move into standing poses next, coming off your chair mindfully and slowly and using the chair to support you. If getting onto the mat is challenging for you, this is a wonderful variation. So face the chair from the center of your mat, place your hands on the chair and walk them back. Keep a micro bend in the knees or bend more deeply if your hamstrings need more support. Extend the arms long as you shift the weight back lengthening through the spine toward your heels, and breathe. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. Coming back to noticing what's coming up for you here and now. Maybe it's those to-do lists. Starting to breathe into this now. And from here, we're going to find our modified crescent lunge on the right side. So grab your blanket and your strap. We're going to support our left knee with our blanket if we don't have enough padding on our mat. Inhale, the arms lift. Exhale, let's grasp our hands behind our back and create a nice little back bend here. And then we're going to place the strap around the arch of the right foot and bring your hands above the knee. So it should be probably about 6 inches above the knee. And you're just going to extend your arms long. Your wrist should be stacked over your knee here. And you're just going to remain here, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. This can be really good for folks who have breast cancer and may have had surgery in their chest. Just breathe and be here for a few more breaths, stretching that left thigh and letting the strap create gentle resistance, engaging those arms and core here. And then we're going to grab the blocks and come into Hanumanasana here, extending the right leg long, stacking that left hip over the left knee. Hanumanasana pose really is half split. If you have full split in your practice, certainly that's something that you can take. If not, your blocks can be really supportive here to get a little more deeper into the stretch and bringing the mat up towards you, or rather your hands closer to the floor in support. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the mouth, shifting your left hip back and breathing. This combination of crescent lunge, either high or low, and then Hanumanasana or triangle, or pyramid, whatever variation you want to take, really help, especially for those runners out there, and stretching the backs of your legs. So now we're going to shift that blanket over to the other side to support the left knee as you transition to, the right knee as you transition into your left side modified crescent lunge here. Bend the knees, stacking it over the ankle on that left side, wrapping the strap around the left foot arch. And then really stretching into that back right thigh. Bringing your hands up with your wrist above your left knee, about 6 inches or so. And then doing the same on this side as you did the other side, inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the mouth. Coming back to identifying where those sensations are in your body. And then letting go of that strap, coming into Hanumanasana now. Grabbing those blocks if you use them on the other side, and if not, you feel like you need them on this side, just honor the differences between one side and the other within your body. Breathing and being Inhaling to lengthen and lift the heart, taking a gentle back bend. And then exhaling to fold, bringing your navel toward your left leg, feeling the stretch and breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you, or for that matter, at any point in time during the practice, if closing the eyes helps you to feel more deeply into the sensations and to be more present. Inhaling through the nose and open mouth sigh, exhale out. Slowly making your way out of this pose, putting away the blocks, sinking your hips to your heels for hero's pose, placing your hands on your thighs, and again, closing your eyes if that feels comfortable for you, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. Just find whatever variation you need right here and now. Return to that intention, breathing in and breathing out, simply being here and now, not striving, just arriving. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale, breathing in and breathing out. Knowing that in life we don't have to do anything alone. We need each other. We need to feel supported. So allowing yourself to be supported by these props and coming back to your chair supported downward facing dog. Breathe in and reset the body with some gentle movement here. If you need to pedal the feet back and forth, you may do so. Otherwise, you can find stillness and just breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll slowly start to make our way out of this chair supported downward facing dog. And we'll start to shift our chair so it faces the long edge of your mat. I'm turning mine to the left so that my right foot can come into warrior two with the chair under my sit bones. You can also use the block under the pelvis for extra support here. I'm using a very small chair. It's a kid's chair. And thus, in order to feel the maximum benefit of a supported chair, I'm going to grab that block. And I'm going to place it right under my pelvis. And even though we're supported, there's a feeling that we're having an easy practice. And yet, you remain strong through the legs here. So you still will feel the work. You'll feel the heat. Just notice it and just sit with it. Don't sit, but you know what I'm saying. Allowing your mind to just notice and be that objective observer. And then bringing your hands up to your normal positioning. Inhaling, flip that right palm, and on the exhale, bringing it into peaceful warrior. Breathing in and breathing out for 4 breaths here. Noticing where you place your gaze and how your cervical spine, your neck feels in this peaceful warrior. And on your next inhale, making your way back to your warrior 2. Good. We're going to come now into extended side angle. So extend, bring that right hand down, but don't dump any of your weight into it. And then extend that left arm overhead if it feels good for you. Maybe you bring the palm to go past your head. And then just place it overhead. Playing around with internal or external rotation here of that extended arm. Just feel good in your body. There's no right or wrong way for everyone. And then just breathe here. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in and breathing out. And on your next inhale, making your way back up to your warrior 2. And breathe. We're going to take just some goalpost shapes here and repeating like Rosie the Riveter. I'm strong, I'm confident, and I am enough. And you are more than enough. Return to warrior 2 and just breathe. On your next inhale, we're going to transition to a wide-legged forward fold here. So turn to the wide edge of your mat and just gently walk your hands in front of that chair and fold forward. If you want a little bit of a deeper variation and it's accessible to you, you can bring your elbows down. You can also use the block if you need to, but just make sure to keep that navel in as you forward fold. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. Inhaling, just starting to make your way out of that wide-legged forward fold. We're going to shift to warrior 2 on the left side now. Left knee bends, right leg extends. Heel to heel alignment, but again, if heel to heel alignment doesn't work for you in your body, then you can bring your legs out where your heels are not in the same line. Breathing in and breathing out here in your warrior 2. We're going to make our way into a peaceful warrior. So just breathe in and breathe out here on the inhale. Shift forward on the exhale. Flip the palm, reach the hand back, and come into your reverse or peaceful warrior on this side. Try different hand positions if needed. If you did them one way on the other side, you may want to do it that same way on this side. Maybe it's overhead, maybe it's behind the back or resting on the thigh. And just breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Our magic number is 4 breaths, but sometimes I might talk a little bit longer, and that takes us to a little bit more than the 4 breaths. And on your next inhale, making your way back up to extended side angle from your warrior 2 position. And as you did before, maybe you bring that right arm forward and up, palm at about a 45-degree angle. And hold the arm up there and breathe. But of course, if it doesn't work for you to keep your hand extended above, then find whatever arm variation works best for you and your body. Maybe it's a bind behind the back. Maybe it's something else. Inhaling and exhaling. We hold the poses, but we don't hold our breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. On your next inhale, making your way back up to your warrior 2. We're moving into goddess pose shortly with the chair and an optional block. So bringing your toes to 10 and 2 o'clock, bending the knees. This pose really works those quadricep muscles, inner and outer thighs, hips, and glutes. Use the block as I do if needed for support. Maybe you bring it up further, as I'm showing here. But reach your arms wide and engage now your Ujjayi breath, that constriction in the back of your throat, like Darth Vader breath, or some people also say ocean-like breath. So just breathe in through the nose. If it's accessible, breathe out of the mouth or the nose too. So just find what works best for you here with Ujjayi. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And then just slowly start to move the block away here. We're going to return to our wide-legged forward fold. So straightening the legs and bringing the toes back to 12 o'clock. Fold forward, releasing the head and neck here. Inhaling and exhaling. As we did before, if it's accessible to come into dolphin arms with your elbows down, either on the mat or on the block, you can take that variation as well. Just find what works well for you and your body. And just making sure you're hinging from the hips. And on the next inhale, using your chair to walk your hands back up, vertebra by vertebra, slowly coming all the way up to our Samastiti with hands at heart center. We're going to play around with the chair again here, shifting it back to its original position at the top of your mat. We're going to come into supported Anatasana, puppy pose, using the chair, placing our hips over our knees, chest melting toward the chair with our arms extended. And again, if you need to use your blanket to pad your knees, please feel free to do that. Just making sure that your alignment has your hips over your knees here and extend those arms forward. Adjusting as you need to here in this pose. As you see, I'm walking my knees back a little further to get that alignment of hips stacked over the knees. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the mouth. Inhaling and exhaling. And slowly walking your hands off the chair, grabbing your blanket if you don't already have it, to place under your knees if needed, here for our hero's pose. We're going to come into some shoulder work by bringing your right arm over your left for eagle arms. And just allowing yourself to grab a hand to opposite hand. Use a strap if you need to here. This can make it a lot more accessible and allow you to get into a little bit deeper stretch. And then lift your elbows to the same height as your shoulders here. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the mouth. Inhaling and exhaling. On the next inhale, you're going to extend your elbows towards your ears and just gaze gently upward for 2 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next inhale, slowly fold forward with your eagle arms for 2 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the mouth. And slowly unraveling eagle arm bind, coming back to your hero pose. We'll switch sides now. Bringing your left arm over the right arm. And repeating that same sequence. Elbows at shoulder height for 4 breaths. Grabbing that strap if you need to on this side. Noticing how different sides can feel and look different, and that's okay. Just breathe and notice what's happening for you in this pose. Inhaling and exhaling. And on your next inhale, lifting those elbows higher up towards the ears. Again, bringing your gaze gently toward the sky. Taking 2 breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. And then slowly after that second breath, forward folding once more for 2 breaths here. Slowly start to unravel those arms now, coming back to your hero's pose. And closing your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And if it doesn't, just find a soft gaze point and just breathe. And then transitioning here into your tabletop. And from tabletop, we're going to make our way into cow face pose with our legs. So cross the right knee over the left, sit back into cow face. If this isn't accessible to you, fire log is completely okay. So find the variation that works best for you and your body. Fire log would just have your ankles underneath your knees. So just try to find whatever variation works best for you and your body. Hands beside the hips. Flexing the feet if that feels good for you. If not, just keep them in a neutral position. And if there's any knee pain at all, come out of the pose and modify as you see fit. But just breathe here and notice what's happening for you. Bodily sensations, mental fluctuations. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out of the mouth.
Good. And on your next inhale, you're going to make your way into the opposite side. So for me, I like to just bring the right knee behind the left knee, reach that right leg further out. Hopefully I didn't lose audio for too long there. Reach your hands back. Sometimes my microphone gets turned off accidentally in these forward folds. Just breathe and notice. And thank you for your patience and understanding. And just starting to make your way out of that pose. Just bringing your legs out. We're going to come into a nice little pose that's oftentimes in yin. So you're going to bring your hands just underneath your legs here. And then you're going to reach your head down. So for this pose, you might need your blocks. Stack them however you want. Just play around with whatever works best for you. And then just notice. I think I've seen some people Those feet. I think maybe my microphone is trying to die on me, or I turned it off accidentally again. Whatever, just notice and be and breathe. And then we are going to come into final resting pose. Instead of legs up the wall here, I'm going to use the chair for legs up the wall, Vipariti Karani. And then lower yourself down to the mat. You don't, just reverse that energy, reverse the blood flow, and just get comfortable however you are. And just coming back to your breath to hold you into this present moment as your anchor. I finally lost my audio. So just be right here, right now in your final resting pose. Maybe it was using the chair, maybe you're on your back. Just do what's right for you and your body, most importantly. My Yoda Bear dog wants to say hello, so if you hear him, thank you for understanding. Yoda's actually a big girl. Sometimes I've noticed myself and others calling the dog a boy just because we just think every dog's a boy, I guess. I'm giving you an extended Shavasana here. So just make sure that you are comfortable wherever you are, melting your whole body, allowing all of that heaviness to just let go. Coming back to that word or phrase that you said earlier for your sankalpa or intention, repeating it in your mind's eye when you get distracted. Not going anywhere. Just being here and now. Resting in awareness. Awareness of this present moment. You've put in the effort, even if you thought you weren't going to have much effort. Now it's time for some ease. Ease physically, but in this practice, of course, not always ease mentally or emotionally, given you're in such stillness. When your mind likes to return to that chitta vritti, the endless chatter. We have just about another 3 minutes or so in our yoga practice, so just breathe and be remaining in this space of ease on your mat in Shavasana. I was in a power yoga class this morning. Shout out to Amy Sizemore at Namaste here in Irmo, South Carolina. Her classes are fabulous. And I just wanted to remain in Shavasana for a whole lot longer after that hard class. So if you are feeling like you need it and you can have the time to just remain in your Shavasana for a longer period of time, even longer than what I've allowed, nearly 10 minutes here, then go for it. If not, that's okay too. Just breathe in through the nose, breathe out of the mouth. And on your next inhale, still in your Shavasana, start to just bring gentle movement to your fingers and to your toes. Just awakening the senses. And then on your next inhale, you're going to stretch really big, just as though you would the first thing in the morning when you're reaching your hands over behind your head and neck in that laying down position, stretching your legs further out towards the end of your bed if it's the morning time, but in this case, your mat. And on that next exhale, just come into your fetal position. Still on your back, bringing your knees into your chest, hugging yourself, thanking yourself, maybe kissing your knees because you love yourself. This is your self-care time. And then coming over onto your favorite side or the side that you might need most. For me, I'm gonna come into my left side with more feminine energy, that calming energy. As we head into the weekend here, and on your next inhale, you're gonna gently press yourself up into your seated position once more, with your eyes still closed, bringing your hands to heart center, bowing your head to your heart.
thanking yourself for showing up to this practice today. Noticing how your body feels now compared to the beginning of the class. If you've been carrying heaviness, stress, worry, expectations, know that in this moment you've given yourself permission to set some of that heaviness down. You don't have to carry everything alone. May you walk off the mat today feeling a little lighter, a little clearer, and more supported. Thank you for practicing with me today. The teacher in me bows to the teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste. If you like this class, please share it with others, like it, and comment. I'm always open to feedback. Just be kind and respectful with it, and breathe, lead, succeed. Until next time.